So we're back to the studio. Welcome, Maxime Morin. Max is the team leader on the Password Hub product and platform. So he's going to talk about serve the hub, but we're going to mainly talk about Password Hub business and the integration with remote desktop managers. Is that correct?
Yeah. What's coming and what we
What's coming? We're going to showcase the solution as well. So yeah, whenever you're ready, Max. I don't know if you wanted to say a few words before getting started, or we deep dive into the presentation.
Deep dive.
Let's deep dive. There we go.
Thank you. That's too fast. All right. First of all, what is Password Hub Business? For those who don't know, it's a cloud-based data source for RDM. It's also it has a user-friendly interface for non-IT users. We have a web client, we have a mobile app, we have also the Devolution web login, which is a browser extension. So it's really a data source for RDM, which we can use to save passwords, we can use to save sessions. We can use
that's the in marketing and in sales, that's the solution we use to manage our passwords. But what's the biggest advantage of using Hub is not only are you able to onboard all your non-technical staff, but you're able to use the same cloud-based repository for both RDM users and non-RDM users, right?
Yeah.
All in the same platform. So if you're using, I don't know, LastPass, and we do integrate with all these in Remote Desktop Manager, but with Password Hub is this direct data source that you can create right into Remote Desktop Manager.
Yeah, a one-stop shop for your business.
How can we access the hub? We log into the website, right? And
the management is done mostly on the website, the web client. You create your own URL, kind of like, I don't know, your company devolutions.app. And then you go there, you can manage your users, groups, licensing, vault.
Yeah, it's classic SaaS solution, right?
Yeah.
Subscription based on a yearly basis. And that's what's Password Hub business. And I don't know if you want, I might be moving too fast here, but we do provide two different editions, right?
What do you mean by editions?
We have the personal and the business.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's also the personal, yes, which is free for a single user. It's a little bit more simpler because you don't have many users, you don't have groups, you don't have multiple vaults, you have a single vault.
Yeah.
But it's perfect for the single user.
What we want to achieve here is, as we mentioned with Troy during his presentation, and we saw that as well in the cybersecurity report, people are actually using password managers in their business environment, but they need to also increase, we need to increase that number for personal accounts.
Yeah.
So what we want to achieve using that, giving two different editions, is the same kind of user experience for people to adopt these solutions and use the personal version for their personal accounts, their Facebook, their banking account, right? What else do we want to stick in there? You want to put your credit card or whatever, right?
It's an important aspect because in a business, we do have a user vault.
Yep.
It's not readable by your administrators in the business side, but if you ever leave the company or if they decide to delete your user, they can restore that vault as a shared vault so they can access your data. So your Hub Personal is really for your personal stuff,
exactly.
Which has no link to a business. Your administrator cannot do anything about that vault.
So we have, just to recap a little bit, we have personal edition for all your personal accounts. We have the business edition, which has a user vault and a shared vault.
Multiple shared vaults.
Multiple shared vaults. Yeah. So these are for your business accounts.
Yep.
One for your personal account in the business or private accounts, and one for all your shared accounts throughout your team.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a question right here. Let me just... right off the bat, is it possible to host the password vault locally instead of in the cloud?
That's not supported right now, and I don't think it's in the plans. We have kind of like DVLS or
the server.
Yeah,
the server for that, for this exact purpose. Yeah, which is the counterbalance for on-premise solutions for which is cloud, and server, which is on premises. Yeah, good question though. All right, so I'm gonna let you move forward with your next slide.
Next slide. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we released really recently. The latest version was mostly working on permission on entries. So we used to have vaults which had permissions and you could not define a smaller subset of permissions. Now we do support them on folders, so you can add your permissions directly on folders instead of just the vault. Some things to note for those who are used to RDM. they're slightly different, meaning that permissions are always cumulative. They can only be added. They cannot be removed. You don't have the deny option that is available in RDM. Multiple reasons for that. First of all is simplicity. Having a deny in the middle of a chain is kind of hard to find exactly which folder has the deny and then remove it if you need to remove it. It's also for performance, because having a deny somewhere forces you to look through the whole structure until you find your entry to make sure there's no deny. While if at the base you have it, you're done, move to the next one. So there's a little bit of performance there too. And the last thing is it's always inherited. You cannot unherit it. It's always inherited. So if you have a permission at the vault level, if you have a permission in the folder, anything beside underneath will have that permission. You cannot remove that.
Got it. Simplified ways to use
Yeah,
to manage
exactly.
permissions in Hub.
Yeah. We also added two little reports. One is the health entry, and the other is the vault health entry. Vault health. Sorry. Those are used when you have like this issue. It's because Hub everything is encrypted locally on your machine. Once you push to the server, we don't really know what you just push. We cannot validate a lot of stuff. We only have a subset of metadata that we can validate. So we added these reports to, if you ever have something weird, like you see like this is not saving correctly, it's one of the first report to go and check if there's something broken. So whether it's some sort of encryption key missing, whether there's like a missing type or something like that. We also have some cases of corruption, data corruption, because two users were putting at the same time different data. So that's one of the first place where you can look, and probably when you ask for support or something, we're going to ask you to look into that place. Okay. It's really going to give you some hits how to fix them and how to get up running again.
And all those features were released back in October this year. Is that correct? Is that the latest version?
Yeah, those first two were released in October. Yes.
Okay.
Licenses were added like about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Pretty much, as you're going to see later on, we're looking into migrating Devolutions Online database to Hub. A lot of users were asking, where do I put my RDM license, right? We didn't have that. Now we have that, and you can add it, which RDM will automatically pick up that license whenever you launch your data source. So
you'll be able to connect. It's going to be able to actually see if you have a valid license for your remote desktop manager. Yeah. So the license is handled on the password hub instead of on the client side of RDM.
You have to assign your user which has access to that license if it's not unlimited.
Okay.
We're starting, it's baby step, we're starting to add entry templates. Whether right now we just support the listing and deletion, but it's right now as under review, where you can create an entry from a template and create a template from an entry. So that's been done also. Soon we're going to add the exit template in there too.
Okay.
So that's useful.
So that's what's coming up next, right? In the next episode, but the second slide.
One? Yeah.
So that's what's coming next year, right? Or first half of the year, or? Okay.
Maybe in the next weeks up to next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Some users already point this out, but the authenticator got renamed to Workspace.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not just the authenticator. Actually, the password hub and authenticator will be merged together as a single app, which will be called Workspace. We also have in the Workspace some stuff for the Devolutions server. So it's almost one app to rule them all.
Yeah. Well, that's the vision of Workspace, is to being able to, except for Remote Desktop Manager, which has its own application.
That's a different beast.
Because it's so like extensive and complete. But the Workspace is a companion app tool for all your different Devolutions product, namely Hub and the server, right?
Yeah, especially useful for the authentication and managing your password hub on the fly.
Okay. Then the second bullet right there, authentication Azure SSO. That's a huge piece.
Yeah, that's a big bullet. It was supposed to be released like 1 month ago or so. Sadly, it slipped. We're currently testing internally at Devolution.
Yeah.
That's the feature that we hope to be releasing in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We really want to make sure there's no issues with authentication. We don't want to mess with it. So it's kind of weird, but we take it seriously.
No, it's true.
But I was referring to the presentation this morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's really a big piece. A lot of users have been asking for it. We're really thrilled to have it, but it's serious.
Speaking of authentication, we have a question from Edward. Can a workspace hub authenticate with a local AD server?
I don't think it can. Well, it's a good question that we'll have to double check, but I believe right now it's only supported with Azure SSO. It has to be Azure AD. Local, I don't
For
think
now,
it
yeah.
will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think, I'm not quite sure. There,
Yeah,
but
well, it's not. Maybe someone on team can answer that question
Yeah.
in the chat. Yeah.
I think there's a technology to go back from Azure AD back to your local AD, but I don't want to get into that. I'm not
Okay.
specialist in that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next bullet.
Yeah, one that was asked quite a lot actually, and I believe it's really important that we have right now. As I was mentioning, some users sometimes edit the same entry, and it's bound to have some issues with that. So in RDM, there's a solution for that. It's the checkout and look for exit. So that's something that we plan on adding maybe in the next few weeks too. The ability to check out an entry, so it's really yours. Nobody else can touch it beside your admin, or just lock an entry when you're trying to edit it, so nobody else plays with it. And have the little flag is running when you see a connection in the tree that has like a little play button. It's meaning that somebody is connected to it.
It's already in use, so you cannot.
Yeah, well, you still can, I believe, but you're gonna kick him out.
You gotta kick out that person. And again, we talked about it in the server with Maurice, but all of those checkout log for it is running are going to be available through the RDM platform, correct?
RDM, and we plan to have them on the web client, the mobile app, everything, because it kind of doesn't make sense if you're locking RDM but still can play with it on the web.
Okay.
So
gotcha. Yeah.
That's something we're looking for too.
Okay.
Another thing is actually, I believe this one was a user feature request. To have the possibility to have like system-wide vault permission. Pretty much what it means is that you can define permissions which will be automatically applied to all your vaults. So for example, let's say you have a user that's doing audits, and you want this user to have access to all the vaults so he can see everything but not touch anything.
Just read only, but on all the vaults.
You can set a system-wide permission. This guy is your reader.
Okay.
Voila, it's done. You don't have to take care of it. You don't have to edit every single vault to have the reader everywhere.
Okay.
If you have a new vault, it's automatically. So it's really like a layer on top of the vault layer.
So that's a feature request that came from the forum, I guess. Do you remember?
I believe it was a support ticket. I'm not quite sure.
Support ticket. Okay. Yeah. That's nice. PHP license and licenses.
Yeah, that one is weird. Huh? I didn't know how to word it. But pretty much we have a new section license in the hub, as I was mentioning, for RDM. But we also want to simplify how you manage your license for the hub itself. Right now, it's in the customer portal. It's a little bit separate. What we want is to bring it back in hub so that you can not only add license for RDM or the launcher, but you can also add your license for hub right there in your administrator panel. I think that makes more sense. That's a goal. So,
and we have a question from Edward again. We already use Devolutions Server at my workplace or work office, so we're very interested in a cloud solution like this. Is it possible to export the passwords already stored in the database up to the cloud? So from the server to hub?
Yeah, it's possible. We do have some gotchas about that right now, and we're working on it. One with RDM, when you export, attachments and documents are not coming with your export files, so those have to be manually imported back. But we already have a planning meeting. I already have a meeting for that. It's planned. We're starting to work on that. So we want to support that because it's also going to help us for migrating the DODB.
We have exactly, and we have people on the customer success team who are specialized in doing this exact scenario. So if you want to reach out to them, service@devolutions.net, and they'll be able to give you help on that specific scenario.
Right now, the workaround is working with PowerShell
to do the switch.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Good question, Edward.
And the last one is kind of like the follow-up is more entry templates, meaning that we're going to have the creation part, the edit part. It's baby steps, but we're getting there.
Okay. And I think you have one final slide or two.
Yeah, this one. Password Hub is the new DODB. Pretty much we want, I believe it was this morning, we were mentioning that Devolutions Online database is getting deprecated. It's being replaced by Password Hub Business. David talked about a lot of good reasons why. Improve security by default. We manage security. We set up things so that you don't have to set up a security provider on that stuff. We have advanced authentication settings. You can force 2FA. You can force the login. There's a couple of settings there that's really useful. We have zero knowledge on sensitive data by design, meaning that even if we have access to your database and we go and look into it directly, whatever we read we cannot do anything with it. It's encrypted. This is not true for everything in the hub because we still have to manage your users, still have to manage groups. We still have to manage your metadata of the vault. But for the entry, for the data itself, that's important for your business. We cannot read anything about it besides the name because we have multi-vault search.
Yeah. So multiple regions. We have what we have. We have America, Canada, and US.
And Europe.
Europe and France.
Yeah.
We have Australia.
Yep.
And we're looking to add, if there's enough demand for it, we're looking to add Germany and UK in the future.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah, if there's enough demand for those locations, namely because if you're in Australia and you store your data in America, you're going to get performance issues.
Yeah.
So we want to be sure that you're the closest possible to your locations to have the best performance available.
Yeah, to reduce latency to the server.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's one aspect, and the other aspect is regulations. Quite often we get asked, is your data stored in a European region? Yes or no? It's France. Just pick up the right region.
Yeah. There's GDPR in Europe. There's also, we see, I'm not sure how PCI deals with that specific requirement, but we saw that this morning, PCI compliant. But yeah, there are a few standards and regulations that requires for your data to be stored in your own country, for example.
Yeah, we had a Canadian company ask for that too.
Yeah. Good.
And another reason why is we support multiple vaults, which is not available in Devolution Online database, meaning that if your business needs to scale up, I believe you were limited depending on your license on the number of entries. Now there's no limits on the number of entries. You just scale up with multiple vaults. Obviously, if you put 10,000 entries in a single vault, you're going to see some performance degradation.
Yep.
But if you keep it 2,000 or so, you should be good to go.
Good.
We also have permissions on entries, which are like the full permission, added, delete, execute, view password, all those. And finally, we do support a web client for non-IT users, as we were mentioning.
Well, the web client, but the web login, the browser extension is much more useful for users, just like myself. I just need to log into like a couple, I would say 15, 20 different web pages and never log into the hub. Once I've configured all the entries for the team and for everyone, I mean, we all use the web login. So it's seamless. We just need, it's a browser extension where you just log into the page. It's going to prompt for inject the password. That's going to call the hub, your hub, and then retrieve your password and inject it into a web page. Yeah.
So that's
great.
Good.
Yeah.
Quick demo.
We're out on time. We said we would take 10 minutes to do a quick demo. And then again, if you have any questions before we move on to Corey, that is coming up in 10 minutes.
So this is the web client I was talking about. For example, this company is called Windjammer. We can see it in the URL above. This is a typical vault where you have some folders with subfolders, etc. Not much to show here except that while we talked about it, it's a new feature. You can manage security, permissions on folders. This tab used to be not there actually. Now you can. For example, this folder is called Kelly's test machine. So of course, Kelly has more rights than she usually has in the other folders or entries. So she was attributed right here, a contributor, which has all the rights in the folder. So that's how permission works.
Love the UI, by the way. I really love the UI.
The report I was talking about held here. If you have any issues or something, for right now, there's no issues. Everything is healthy, so that's good to go. It's a little report. We also had a permission similar to what you have in RDM. These are the permissions resolved for the user only. We may eventually add for the users, but right now it's not in the plan. It tells you what you have access, what you don't, etc. The rest was pretty much there. Fairly recently, we added the platform, which the entry was saved. So that's about maybe 6 months ago. So it's kind of useful to know also what device your users are using.
Yeah.
If we continue, we have the Vault Health, which is the same thing as the health entry, except for all entries in the Vault. Simple as that. In administration, the license, well, maybe I went too fast here, but in administration, the license section is where you can add your license for RDM, and eventually for your hub, it will be a new panel at the top or something like that.
Okay.
As you can see right now, I have 2 licenses. One is used by my user currently. I know because I set it up right here, assigned to, and you can see that field, which is what I'm logged in. Currently I have the license assigned. There's no spots available. Everything is there. You have the details, RDM for 1 year, etc. This one has 10 users, and I only assigned it to 3 users.
That's really neat. Okay.
Other than that, I believe I did pretty much everything. Yeah, the system-wide permissions are not there yet, but probably in the next few weeks. And we hope for those who have keen eyes, I believe someone mentioned it already. There's already the option to enable SSO with devolution account organization. So that's a setting that's coming. If you go in your edit account, you also have the organization that popped recently. So it's
Okay.
we're getting there.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like
Okay.
pieces are there here and there, but
Okay.
we're getting there. We're really close.
Okay.
So that's encouraging.
Okay. So, and in that vault, if you go back to that vault, right, the tree view that we see right there would be the same one, of course, the one that we're going to see in RDM, right? Correct.
Yeah. So in RDM, it's exactly the same. Well, I can show maybe the data source here. Oops, sorry, it popped on the other screen. Pretty much like any other data source in RDM, you create a new data source. You select a business in the team section.
Yep.
Then you can add the name you want for your data source, anything you want. You had your username that you're going to use to log in with your Devolution account. And then you can click on the dots here to select the hub you want. So it's going to automatically do the link. You click OK, and then you're pretty much presented with your data source with all the vaults here and your entries as if you were in any other data source in RDM.
And from there, so everything is connected, right? Your login, everything is. In which case would I need to switch back to the web-based platform? Or, well, let me rephrase that. If I use RDM, is there any case where I will need to log into the hub from the web page, or everything is?
Yeah, everything that's management, I believe. I'm going to try it right there. But anything that's management will bring you back to the hub page under the right section.
That's where.
So anything users, groups, system settings, licenses will all be done in the web client to manage your stuff.
Got it. Question from Marcus: is there template support in Hub?
I'm not sure if you mean password templates or entry templates, but both are supported in Password Hub. Password templates are used to validate that the password your users enters are respecting some conditions, and those are supported. And entry templates are basic templates with information pre-filled so that you can add entries quicker.
Okay. And the attachment issue Marcus is referring to is the one when we want to switch from DODB to Hub. We're working on it as we speak.
Yeah.
We might have a migrator ready also early next year to migrate from DODB online database to Hub and fix that attachment problem, right?
Yeah, we do hope so.
Yeah, and we work with the customer team, with our customers, to do that switch flawlessly. All right. Is there anything else on your end you wanted to showcase during the demo, Max?
And none that I can think of, actually. Maybe if I go back in my slides. But...
In the meantime, if there's any, as I mentioned, in order to create that hub, you can go on the Devolutions website under the Password Hub tab. You can create your hub right on the from the website. You're gonna be asked to create your account, and then you would be up to go, up and running with the Password Hub.
Yeah.
Business. Yeah.
Customer portal. A business.
I don't know if we can switch back. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And then you can create a Password Hub. This is where you put your company name. It's anything you want. Well, almost. And then the password hub site is your URL.
Yeah, we got a couple of cases. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the
Regions.
region. This is the important part. If you do have to respect like regulations and stuff, make sure you pick the right one. Or if you just want to have the best performance, it's the same exact deployment across any region. So it's the same server setup, exactly the same.
Cool. Yeah. All right. And the couple of minutes from Jacques. Is there a way to create a desktop shortcut with an auto connection passing through the web client?
Right now, the web client doesn't really support connections, so I'm guessing no. Unless you mean just a shortcut to open the website.
Yeah. The way I understand it is auto connection, so you can log into a website using a shortcut from the web login.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I can answer that one.
Again, someone from the team can answer that question live on the chat if someone has that info. Okay, thanks. Thanks for your session, Max. It went quite fast again, and I'm sure that we'll be able to talk again on a live webinar in the upcoming months when we have the SSO and all that stuff released. That's going to be a huge step forward for using RDM with Password Hub. Maybe one last question. Where is the Cloud Vault stored? AWS, Azure, Devil Private Cloud?
It depends on your region. If it's Canada, I believe it's in Toronto. If it's US, it's North Central. I think, I'm not quite sure. If it's Europe, it's France, and Australia, it's in Australia.
Well, it's all on Azure, right?
Yeah, but it's pretty well. You do have some regions, for example, Europe. You could pick UK, as you were saying, but it's not available right now.
Yeah.
But for Europe, it's right now it's France Central, if I'm not mistaken. It's like
yeah, but the question is more in regards of the technology. Where is the Cloud Vault store? AWS, Azure, or Devolution? Yeah, it's Azure.
Azure.
Yeah. I see Seb answer that question also. All right. Well. Thanks for your time today, Max. Very appreciated. Very appreciated to take time. I know it's not easy to do, but very thanks a lot to show up today and showcase Password Hub